A lot of times I get asked why we built the door the way we did. And we're one of the only guys out there that uses a wood laminate door. That's what this is. And I gotta tell you, there's a bunch of reasons now we do, because one, wood doesn't warp under heat, so we can put a tremendous amount of heat. We've had these things actually in burn containers where they weren't supposed to get direct flame impingement, actually get lit on fire. So that stuff happens. We know it's gonna happen in training. But the fact is that wood is a far more durable product than we realize. And when we laminated it with the AR450 plate, what we did is we basically created something that was so dense in the middle that it could take a lot of heat, it could take a lot of pressure, it could take a lot of abuse, and it would just hold up to it. And even if it gets dinged and stuff, and we've added the signs here to decrease the dings, but honestly, you could ding this thing until you drove a hole through it and then spray paint it and keep forcing it. One of the things that most people don't know is when we first built these doors, I had one in Palo Alto where I worked, and it was in a Conex box, and somehow that Conex box got on fire, and that fire put about a ½ inch of char on the backside of one of our wood doors that we were testing, and sure enough, we forced that thing for another 2 years. So when it comes to durability, I don't think you can really beat this, although I think a lot of people think that a steel door is better. One of the things I also don't like about a steel door is a steel door doesn't flex. A lot of them are made out of tubing and then plate steel, and not even, honestly, what I've seen is not even really good plate steel. Stuff will bend really easily. When you take the time to really outsource really good product like AR450, so if you don't know what AR450 means, it means that it has so AR500 is what they make shooting plates out of. So when you shoot them, they don't get dented and stuff, and they don't the bullets don't penetrate. Well, AR450 is the same kind of thing. It just means its Brindle hardness is 450. Well, if you compare that to normal steel, which is like less than 100, it's far softer, right? So that's why a bullet would penetrate regular steel, whereas it wouldn't penetrate this. Well, that also increases the durability. And durability is really a big deal. So now that we've increased this durability, and literally from the top of the door all the way to the bottom, that allows you to work this door top to bottom on plate that's not going to give up on you, and it's going to wear really, really well. Actually, in all honesty, it'll wear better than your tools do in a lot of cases. The other thing that we find really important is that doors flex. Real doors that I've forced have always flexed. I mean, we used to kind of have a game at times where we went on a lot of medical calls, and when we did, you know, every once in a while the door was closed, we just kind of foot the door, right? See how much flex we could get out of it. Well, what happens if you're training and you never flex the bottom of a door because you don't even know to do that, right? So this is where like everything about our door and our system is important because it teaches you every basic. So when I foot the door, right, we can see from here how we've got the gaps biggest here, and it gets smaller all the way up to the doorknob and the deadbolt, which is exactly what's gonna happen on a real door. And by doing that, that allows us to practice the art of footing the door, getting our tool in there and starting to roll it a little bit, right? Working up near our deadbolt and our doorknob, and then popping our door. Now, we don't have the door loaded with a lot right now, but the principle is really the point. We want that door to flex because we want it to act like a real door does. We don't want it to act like a steel safe because we're not opening safes, we're opening doors. So that's one reason that we really believe in our doors. The other thing is, regarding our wood doors, is let's say in every door, every forcible entry door that I'm aware of outside of ours is made in one size, 36 inches wide. And why does that matter? Well, if you think about it, every commercial door is 36 inches wide, but your residential door is probably 32 inches wide. And I guarantee if you have a basement door, especially a small one, it's probably 30 inches or narrower. But all those things actually matter because if you're getting used to going through a larger opening than you're actually going to go through, you get comfortable with like the size of your kit or the size of your gear or thinking two guys are going to get through there at once. And that's not going to happen, right? This door right here is set up for 30 inches. So that's only a 30-inch door in there. And the other thing that actually does, it makes it really hard when you're working with tools because guess what? Tool is wider than the door jamb, right? So here's your 30-inch Halligan that we're all used to using, but now you're working in a space that like, it's catching the door jamb now. And that's important. If we only train on a 36-inch door, then we're never going to get to the point where when we go to an event and we're hitting the far side jamb and we're wondering why, we never train for it. Now some of you guys get more fires than you know, others, so maybe you've done a bunch of these doors. And maybe the doors you've gotten through have been somewhat easy. But I'm just telling you, there comes a day when you're facing a door like this that's narrow, that you can't get your tool in place, that's gonna require you to think outside the box, and you're gonna have training and practice that's going to need to know how to mitigate that problem. So go out there and breach some doors.